Hi, welcome back to our channel. I'm Bianca, one of the bosses, and welcome here. So today I'm going to tell you about 4 things that you should do when you are dating. Alright, so please excuse this appearance. I have allergies. I am working in the garden and I had to film this video and I cannot put him down. But if you're new here, we do videos on faith, marriage, parenting, and lifestyle. So if that's what you're into, please subscribe and join our Fast Fam. Today we're going to focus on 4 things that you really should be doing when you are dating. Now, honestly, I do think that if we truly want to love the way that the Bible explains it, and how the Jews lived back in the day, or probably still do, I don't know, dating does not exist in the Bible, and you should not waste each other's time just for fun. We are in the world and we should live different and set apart from the world, right? However, I do think that many people still date because they want to get to know the other person before making a commitment. And what the Bible expects of us is to get to know the other person and decide whether we want to make a commitment, right? But not calling it dating, but just getting to know each other, like friendship, or just really look coffee one-on-one in a crowded space. And that's kind of the idea of, and then immediately deciding to commit and get married or not waste each other's time. Putting that there as a caveat, though, I do know that lots of people still prefer dating. So today I want to just mention a few things that could help you to date in a more Christian way, in a more Christian safe way, if I can put it that way. Why you should listen to me is because I did all the mistakes. I made all the mistakes. I've been there. There's some things that you learn to change due to convictions, and there's some things that you only learn afterward. I did everything wrong when dating. I made all the mistakes. Yet God still forgave me, still gave me the most amazing husband, and that's exactly what He could give you too. Don't let your past scare you away from a wonderful, beautifully God-blessed future. Okay, don't let that happen. So on the note, if you really are engaged or still dating and really want to be a wonderful godly spouse, then check out the course below that we have for you. It's a 6-week course where we really teach you how to be godly marriage material and how to practically apply that in your life and become who God wants us to be according to the Bible. So if that's something you'd like to do, check out the link in the description below. Okay, so I'm going to stop wasting time. Let's get into it. So number 1 is the most obvious one. So let's just get it out of the way, is limit the physical. Okay, so any physical touch. You can talk and pray to the Spirit about where your conviction is, whether hand holding is allowed or kissing is allowed, or hugging or whatever, that physical things, that is your conviction, and between you and God, how far you want to do that physical display. But anything private or beyond kissing should not be done. You are dabbling with spiritual forces, with bondage, with lots of things that we truly can only hope that we are understanding it correctly. It's beyond our capabilities of understanding. There's so many things that God has not yet revealed to us. So dabbling with those things is just looking for trouble, looking for pain, looking for regret. So just avoid it. Set down rules immediately and limit the physical as much as possible, honestly. Because of the video of last time where we focused on what to stop when dating, so go and watch that if you want to focus more on the don't part. All right, so number 2, I want you to pray about the other person. Pray about them, pray for them. I want to say this with a pinch of salt, but try and don't go into deep spiritual connection and pray with them, because the spiritual is like a next level of intimacy together. So try and focus on praying for them and about them. Now, I'm not speaking about like praying for food or something like that. I mean real intimate prayer over the relationship. That is what I mean. Like, keep those separate, still communicate to each other, and pray separately. Like, you don't want to step into that spiritual intimacy together if God did not tell you that this is the person for you, or that He agrees and gives you permission to marry this person, or blessing to marry this person. So pray over it so that you know that this relationship is God blessed, and pray over it so that you know whether you should continue or whether you should walk away. And really, like, may you be convicted, may you be obedient, may you listen. Yes, so pray. Prayer is absolutely powerful, right? So the third thing that you have to do when you are dating, and this is something that I truly struggled with, is giving the other person space. Giving them the space to be themselves, giving yourself the space to be yourself, even though you're madly in love, you want to be together 24/7, you're gonna kind of lose yourself in the sense of conform to be what they want, the perfect what they want, and that is not the goal here. You're supposed to be yourself. You're supposed to get to know each other's likes and dislikes, and not everything has to be in agreement, because some things actually just complement each other. If you're bad at one thing and they're good with something else, you fulfill each other and you build each other up together. So giving each other space as well to still have friends, to still go out, to not have the opposite sex friends if you are seriously like wanting to get married with the goal of getting married. Stop being friends with the opposite sex, and it's either get married or walk away. Okay, stop wasting your time. And I know so many of you are going to want to fight me on that. Like, giving each other space so that the other person doesn't get tired of you. That's definitely not the perspective I'm talking about. I am talking about the perspective of not to be the wife or the husband yet, but just be the person getting to know the other person. Okay, just be the boyfriend or girlfriend. Don't be the husband or wife yet. Each of you need your space. And obviously trust and space, the time together is very important, but just be wise about that. Okay, and again, just pray about it. Or ask each other straight up, do you want more space with your friends? Do you want more space alone? Because sometimes we dive head first into that relationship and we fall madly in love and we want to be together 24/7, but we forget to give the other person their personal space to just breathe, or like, get a bit of rest after work, or have some alone time with them and with God. They need time to spend with God alone without you. Like, give them that space, okay? And then the last thing that you should do when dating, clear expectations and boundaries and communication. So just literally talk about boundaries, what boundaries you want to set. If that's something you struggle with, that is something that we talk about in the course a lot, is boundaries, expectations, and communications. So I really if this is something that you're very unsure of, or you're very lost and you're not sure what to do or how to do it, definitely check out the course. But just you have to have a communication system where you tell the other person, this is what I expect from a boyfriend or girlfriend. This is what I expect This is what I expect to see in a woman of God or a man of God. And this is what for example, practical example, I expect you to open the door for me when I want to get in the car. I expect you to hold my chair, or I expect you to bring me flowers. Whatever it is, just communicate that expectancy, because the other person cannot do what you want them to if they didn't even know that they had to in the first place. And if they don't want to, they will literally just tell you, you know what, no, I'm not going to do that. And then talk about it. Don't fight. Just talk about it and find common ground. And then, so have clear communicated expectations, shared expectations, and then boundaries. Boundaries in like physical spaces, and boundaries in private spaces, which you're not supposed to do. But if you're still making the mistakes like I did, boundaries in private spaces. Okay, so communication with what boundaries there is important that you speak of. And I'm not just talking about like physical, sexual boundaries. I'm talking about what is allowed in conversation, what is not allowed in conversation. What is allowed to be communicated with other people outside of the relationship. What boundaries do we expect with our parents or family members? What boundaries, like, is there a boundary such as you are allowed to look on my phone, or you are allowed to be friends with the opposite sex? Like, what boundaries are you going to set in place to protect this relationship, not only from people, but also from like evil spiritual forces? Okay, so you really got to be ready and strong if you want this relationship to survive and be godly in any way. You have to communicate clearly. And if anyone is to like think you're going too deep into this with communicating things like boundaries, then they are going to waste your time. So boundaries are very important. Expectations are very important. Literally, when me and Christian met, we literally started communicating expectations and boundaries on our first date. Now, mind you, we only started dating months after that. But after we went on our first date, we already communicated lots of expectations and boundaries. So you should do that, okay? Like from the start, and the other person should not be scared away. This is really just a space of, this is what I want, this is what I expect to get, and what's your opinion on that? Let's figure this thing out before we even dive into it. It doesn't have to be scary. It can be a fun talk. It can just, because it's going to avoid fights in the future or arguments about nonsense. So really just talk to each other before something becomes an issue. Whenever you think of something, talk to the other person and don't crop it up. And that's going to make your relationship bloom. So that's 4 tips of what you should do while you are dating. I hope you like that. Leave a comment in the comments. Which one do you think is going to help your relationship the most? And you're excited or nervous to try. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for growing with us. Check out the course description. Okay, bye.